Welcome back to the Means Report. So happy to be in back to school mode. Our thanks to Dr. Sandra Carraway out of Columbia County, Georgia. Now let's cross the river to Aiken County, South Carolina, and welcome in brand new Superintendent Dr. Sean Alfred. Dr. Alfred, not only are you brand new, but the school year is cranked up. I am really grateful to you for taking the time to be here. Thank you.
We certainly appreciate the invitation.
You know, one of the things you said when you started this brand new job was that you wanted to have a better relationship or make sure that you had a good relationship with the board. That's obviously the goal of probably any superintendent out there. So my first question is, how can you forge those friendships and relationships with board members? Are we talking like one-on-one meetings, or how will that happen?
It'll be a little bit of both. We'll have some one-on-one meetings. We'll meet collectively as a group. You know, with any team and team building, you know, you really have to establish trust as a cornerstone to authentic and genuine relationships. And nothing builds trust like exposure, having an opportunity to have great conversations, school business and things that aren't related to school in any way, shape, or form. So we really made a deliberate effort to reach out and establish those initial relationships with those folks who are responsible, who are elected officials as it relates to governing our school district, and it's been well received. Things have started real well.
Yes, sir. Well, I know that you have two board members squarely on your side already. Board Chair Rosemary English says you blew the roof off in her interview. Vice Chair Levi Green said you blew them away, the board, the interview team. What do you think it was that made you make such a powerful impression? Did you just want the job that badly?
Aiken County, I think it's a jewel, and to have the number of individuals who placed an application, I think turned out to be to my benefit, but I was very surprised that they did not have 50 or more applicants. And because Aiken County is a wonderful place to be, and anyone who knows school districts in South Carolina, they know that. But as far as that day and that interview day, it was really like having a conversation with relatives that you hadn't seen in a long time.
Wow.
I think we share some core tenets and the things we believe about kids and public education, and that just really set the cornerstone for a wonderful conversation.
Is there a main thing that you want to change or improve? And you're right, you know, people in the superintendent's business, they know the industry. You were over there in Somerville. You knew of Aiken County. You did your homework before the interview. What needs fixing?
I think I'd have to be very careful, Brad, considering my tenure at this point.
Sure.
I really can't say that there's a whole lot that needs fixing. I can tell you that it's a jewel that can continue to be polished.
Yeah.
And continuous improvement is something that we certainly want to focus on, because our students and our families, our community will be the benefactor. So what I can promise is that we're going to take a long, hard look at what we've done and how we do it, and determine together how we can continue to get better.
Dr. Alfred, it does all begin in the classroom, all over Aiken County, every single morning and throughout the day and afternoon. How can we make sure that our teachers are the happiest that they can be and that their morale is at its peak? What can you do from the central office to help out with that, if anything?
Well, first and foremost, I think we need to help our teachers by establishing a clear vision and set of expectations as it relates to what it is we ask for them to do. You can't fool yourself, Brad. Anybody who's spent some time in the school business realizes the magic happens in the classroom. Our teachers are vital. Without the work they do on a daily basis, we won't accomplish our goals. It's extremely important that we keep those people happy. We help to build their capacity. When they need resources, we provide them for them. When they need assistance, we provide that assistance. We're dedicated to doing those things because it's all in the best interest of kids.
How do you make sure that the community buys into this? I know we talked about your relationships that you're establishing with board members. What about the community itself and making sure that they've got your back?
I think trust is the very same cornerstone in that regard. You have to get out. You have to be seen. People want to see me. Not that I'm, you know, the person that everyone will want to line up just to see who I am, but people want to know that they have an opportunity and they have access to the superintendent. People send their kids to school every day with a tremendous amount of trust in the school district, not only to provide their safety, physical safety and emotional safety, but they also want us to help them help their students grow. So they want to see the individual and know that the superintendent who leads that organization is a person that we could also trust and feel good about. So that visibility in the community, I think, is key to that cornerstone of trust building.
Is it still, at the end of the day, when it comes to making sure your schools are doing well, is it still a matter of checking off standards and making sure that the schools have met those? In other words, sometimes I think that we're so standards driven that we're limited in what we can do as educators. How do you look at that, and how do you look at making sure that the schools stay up to par?
The analogy that I use most times when I talk about state requirements and those standards, I will use the analogy of a high bar and training for competition.
Mm-hmm.
If a student is trained and given an opportunity to practice on a 3-foot high bar, then when they graduate or they move into the world of work, if there's a new expectation, or if the expectation represents a 6-foot high bar, then we've done that student a disservice. We've trained them to participate and or compete at the expectation of 3 feet when there's a true life expectation of 6 feet. As far as standards are concerned, as far as those state accountability measures are concerned, those are minimum expectations. If we want our students from Aiken County to take their rightful place at the front of every line,
right,
for state, local, and global opportunities, then our expectations need to be 6-foot expectations and not 3-foot expectations.
What about the support that you may or may not get from the state when it comes to the resources you need, the money that you need? It seems like on the news we're constantly reporting about budgets shrinking in South Carolina and in Georgia. Any feel for what lies ahead money-wise?
No, sir, and I would not venture to guess or estimate what type of support we'll receive from the state in the future. I know as our economy continues to improve, hopefully funding for local school districts will continue to improve as well. What I do know is that we as a local school district can do the very best job we can to be efficient with the funds that are given to us by the community members here in Aiken County, and make every single dollar go as far as we possibly can on behalf of kids.
I probably have 40 seconds left, and I wanted you to talk about bullying. It's such a concern in households everywhere. What can you do at the central office to make sure that bullying is not tolerated in your school system?
We can continue to educate not only students, parents, families, and our teachers, but also communicate as well expectations. We want to make sure that folks are able to differentiate between true cases of bullying and what I consider at times to be adolescent mischief. The most important thing, though, is to make sure we engage those issues early in the process. So as long as students are communicating with those adults who are in positions of authority, when they see those circumstances or anything close to it, then we can respond to those issues quickly and discern exactly what we're dealing with.
And stay ahead of them when you can.
Absolutely.
I appreciate your time. I know it's flown by, and I know you're so busy here in the first week of employment. Thank you, Dr. Sean Alfred, for your time today.
We appreciate the invitation.
Absolutely. You're always welcome here. Dr. Sean Alfred, Superintendent of Aiken County Schools. There's their website, acps.schoolfusion.us, and there's their phone number. Call them if you have any questions. The Means Report will be right back. Stay with us.